Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Get there fast. Leave even faster.
Welcome to beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. We are indoors at Tropicana Field. Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Jays won in dramatic style last night, 8-4. A couple of late home runs by Kendrys Morales made John Gibbons Ball Club a winner in the opener. And today they have Marco Estrada going to the mound against Jake Odorizzi. Top of the order has been manned very effectively by Kevin Pillar. You look at his hit streaks this season. He's had a 5-gamer, an 11-gamer, 2 4-gamers. In fact, in 30 games, he's only been held hitless 5 times, and he is really starting to develop into the hitter we all thought he would be.
Consistency, that's what you're looking for from Pillar, and that's what you're starting to get from him. If you really delve into the stats, those types of streaks that we just saw there from Kevin Pillar helped him. Now, he is tied with Mike Trout for the most hits in the American League as a center fielder. Think about that. I'm not going to go ahead and put him in his class, but 38 hits for Pillar. That ties him with Trout. He's also been on base, second to Mike Trout in the American League. So he is doing everything offensively that the Blue Jays were hoping he'd do once they put him at the top of that lineup.
Right-hander Jake Odorizzi makes his second start since coming off the disabled list. He was dealing with a hamstring injury, so he is anxious to start today. This is the lineup for the Blue Jays. Top of the order is Pillar, as we mentioned. Ezequiel Carrera, he's got an 11-game hit streak. That's the 5th longest active hit streak. He's hitting very consistently at .342 during that hit streak. And then down in the 5th spot, Justin Smoak has a 6-game hit streak of his own, batting .391. Smokey had a home run last night, back-to-back homered with Kendrys Morales in the 8th inning. He drove in a couple of runs, and Justin Smoak started to swing the bat very well.
They will face Jake Odorizzi. He'll get ready for his 5th start of the season. Made his first start in 2 weeks the last time out. He was dealing with a hamstring problem. It lasted only 5 innings and 78 pitches. His manager, Kevin Cash, has said he will give him a little bit more leeway this afternoon. He said he just wanted to ease him back into the rotation after being off for a couple of weeks. Odorizzi has had some success in his career versus the Blue Jays. He's had 12 career starts. He's 4-2 with an excellent earned run average of .324. When he is on, he can be really tough.
Defensively, the Rays have played very good defense here at home. They've committed just 5 errors in 16 home games. Former Blue Jay Colby Erasmus is in the left. Kiermaier is okay. He's back in center field after getting hit by a pitch last night. Steven Souza Jr.'s in right. The infield is Longoria and Meckham on the left side. Brad Miller returns to second. He and Logan Morris on the right side. And behind the plate is Derek Norris. He's committed just 1 error this season. He'll do the catching for Jake Odorizzi.
Steven Souza at right field has really improved his game. Only Cole Calhoun has more games in right field than Souza this year in the American League. He's also second in the AL in putouts behind Avisail Garcia. He's had 159 putouts. 1 error, no outfield assist though. That's surprising.
People not running on him now. They know a little bit more about his arm, not challenging him very often. Odorizzi is set. Pillar's in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game, and Pillar goes after it. Miller from the grass. What a play. Miller with a terrific effort. Pillar indicating that he thought he beat it. Miller got a nice stretch from Logan Morrison at first base, and they both kind of collided after the fact as Morrison had to come off the base.
Where you see Miller's range. Remember, he was a shortstop when he came up with Seattle. They tried him at first base. He's settling in at second base. He's at the top of your screen. You see him shaded up the middle. It was a long slide once he dove for that ball. It took him a while to get himself ready. And then Morrison takes the brunt of that hit at first base from Pillar, and it does not look like the Blue Jays are going to challenge.
Yeah, they had a look at it and decided it was too close to challenge it at this point. First batter of the ball game, so 1 down.
There's the stretch from Morrison, and it's in the leather, and he is out. And then the collision at first base.
So 1 away for Ezequiel Carrera. We mentioned his 11-game hit streak, 13 for 38 during that streak.
He's had to keep that hitting streak alive late a couple of times, hasn't he?
Sure has. He's gotten a couple of hits as a pinch hitter to extend that hit streak. So his is a very impressive hit streak. He is the 5th longest active hit streak in the majors. Ball on the strike. Changeup bounced on the plate and he chased. He throws that split changeup that's very, very effective, and he'll have a lot of downward movement on it.
He's throwing it a lot more in 2017 than he did in 2016. More cutters and more splitters from Odorizzi early in the year.
Looked like a pretty good pitch that didn't go the Rays' way. It's 2-2 now. Odorizzi's had some trouble with left-handed hitters this season. They're hitting .286 against him. Compared to last season when he really dominated the lefties, they hit just .190 against him.
That might be the splitter again. It's a great pitch versus left-handers.
3-2. Hit high and deep to right. Souza back. This one's up, and gone for Carrera. The umpire's not indicating anything, but the Rays are just playing as if it went out of the ballpark for a home run. Alfonso Marquez, the second base umpire, was all the way out into the outfield, and he just waved it safe as if he thought it was still in the ballpark. But no matter what, Carrera circles the bases.
And there's the explanation. It looks like the ball is still on the field because they're throwing it back in.
Yeah, the ball bounced back on the field, but it appeared to be over the fence, and that's why the outfielders didn't really chase it. Watch Souza's reaction.
He goes back, runs out of real estate. And yeah, you can see the ball clearly is behind the yellow wall, or the yellow line on the wall. Bounces back fair.
Now there's another problem with a left-handed hitter. Carrera hit the 3-2 pitch out of the ballpark for his second home run of the season. That extends his hit streak to 12 straight.
That's how you get it out of the way early. Get it done, Zeke, in the first inning. Looked like they had him struck out on that fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he came back, worked the count to 3-2, got a fastball to his liking, and spanked it to right field.
Well, the Blue Jays bats have come alive here in the month of May. Coming into this game, they've won 4 of their last 6, and they've hit 10 home runs during those 6 games. And Carrera with a 1-out home run of his own.
That thing was designed to go inside that pitch, and it flattened out and came over the middle of the plate. I love Carrera was sprinting around the bases the whole time. Louis Rivera, the third base coach, told him to just keep coming as the ball landed back out on the field.
3-1 to Bautista. A cutter off the end of the mat, 3-2. So does that go in the books as an inside the park home run?
No, that's a goner. That ball landed out of the stand, over the stands.
I know it did, but nobody reviewed it, and the umpires called it safe. No home run. Bautista strikes out. That's the second out of the inning. So we talk about Carrera coming in with the 5th longest active hit streak, and he's moved up the board. Mike Trout of the Angels and Eddie Rosario of the Twins, Nelson Cruz and Ryan Zimmerman now tied with Ezekiel Carrera. They both have 12-game hit streaks.
That's the active. Trout, Rosario, Cruz. That away, Zeke.
So here is the man of last night's game, Kendrys Morales. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and he hit both of those home runs in the 7th and 8th inning. He was the first Blue Jay to hit 2 home runs and drive in 5 here on the road at Tampa Bay.
Think about that. First one ever. And the Blue Jays needed every one of them. Tell you what, that really gave him a lift, I think. That home run that he hit off Archer, then the 3-run home run off Diaz just gave him a lift.
Yeah, they were kind of dead in the water until he came up with that home run. And you got to give Russell Martin credit as well. He got the leadoff walk in the 7th that set the table for Morales. Last 5 games, closing in on 400. Pulls this one that's foul past first.
I think you can say this about any team, but if you got your number 4 hitter, your cleanup hitter, he's hitting home runs. That means he's going to be hitting a lot of times with guys on base. When he's hitting and he's driving in runs and hitting home runs, you're going to start to score a lot of runs. You're going to start winning ball games. We've seen it for years with this team. When somebody in the middle of this lineup starts going off and having a hot streak of a couple of weeks, he's on everything right now.
Well, he's swinging the bat well. Pilar's swinging the bat well. Zeke's got a 12-game hit streak. Smoke's swinging the bat well. And now you're going to get Donaldson and Tulowitzki back. Don't give up the ghost yet, folks.
Yeah.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. A delayed call by the home plate umpire, David Arackley. It's a strike 3. But the Blue Jays take an early lead, and it's the red-hot Ezekiel Carrera. This home run comes on a 3-2 pitch and stretches his hit streak to 12 in a row. Tampa Bay Rays talking with the catcher Derek Norris. I'm sure they're discussing that possible strike 3 to Ezekiel Carrera that the umpire didn't call a strike. He ended up hitting a home run. 1-0 Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the lineup for Kevin Cash. The Rays are 15-16, a gain under 500. Down in the order, Kevin Kiermaier batting 8th tonight. He has great numbers against Marco Estrada. You'd think that he might be a little higher in this batting order today, but he got hit by that pitch and got a sore hand. Derek Norris has a 5-game hit streak. He's done a nice job. 6 hits during the hit streak, and he's done some damage.
Before the Blue Jays came down to Tampa, they lost a series in New York. Well, the only game they won was the game that Marco Estrada pitched. He is pitching as well as anybody in the big leagues right now. 243 earned run average. Just hasn't had the offensive support that would help that 1-loss record. He has gone 6 or more innings in his last 4 starts, giving up just 3 earned runs over that time period. And he's only won 1 game. 3 no decisions over those last 4 starts.
Corey Dickerson. Fastball hit on the ground. Goins hit short. High throw in time, 1 away. Well, the Blue Jays are getting great defense from their infield, especially at shortstop with Ryan Goins, but they need Tulowitzki back. In the outfield, Carrera, Pilar, and Bautista. Pilar and Bautista both doing a great job picking up outfield assists. Darwin Barney gets the start at third. Goins and Travis up the middle. Smoke at first. And Luke Maile, the former Rays player, is behind the plate doing the catching for Marco Estrada.
Darwin Barney at third base, 17th game, 11th start at third base this year. They had a big error in the 7th inning last night. Jays had just tied the game. The Rays came back down at the bottom of the inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Aaron Loup gave up 1 run. The error set up that inning, but Loup pitched out of it. A little better defense at third base this afternoon.
Brad Miller back at second base. He's gotten off to a slow start. Big number there. 1 home run last year. He had 30.
22 of them in this ballpark. Loves hitting here.
He's late on that fastball. Marco Estrada has been a joy to watch pitch. He has talked about the impact that Mark Burley's had on him over the last several seasons. He and Burley teammates, of course, here. And Burley always said, Marco, you're too hard on yourself, man. Enjoy the process a little bit more. And he's done just that. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Estrada was good against the Yankees in his last start. As you mentioned, Patty, he won the only game in that 3-game series.
Let's keep an eye on the Rays hitters today. They're going to be looking for that changeup and sitting on it. How do you counteract that? You start throwing more fastballs. Luke Mailey's getting another chance to catch Estrada. Luke was talking about the first time he caught him, said what a joy he is. I just put my glove right here. I put a sign down, put my glove there, and he hits it every time.
Pretty good pitch just off the plate. That was the cut fastball, and Estrada with a little longer look in at the umpire to suggest he thought that might have been a strike. Changeup bounced in the dirt, and Miller will go to first.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch usage for this afternoon starter, Marco Estrada. We all know about the fastball and the changeup, but he can cut the ball. That's been a big pitch for him. It's just one more thing that he can put in the minds of the hitters. Curveball, he only threw 5 of them in that last start against the Yankees because his fastball and changeup were so good. Pete Walker was saying today he has to pitch off of his fastball. That's the key for Marco Estrada. Use the fastball. He can put it on the corners, and then it sets up his changeup.
Evan Longoria had a big night at the plate last night. Longoria reached base in each of his first 4 plate appearances. He doubled, singled, walked, and then singled and scored in the 7th. Roberto Osuna got him to line out to right in his 5th plate appearance.
I had to go and look at the numbers for Longoria. It seems like he always comes up with big hits and great plays and everything against the Blue Jays. So I just looked at the numbers that he has had against the Jays. This is his 161st game against the Blue Jays. He's played 160 games, which is almost a full season. Their record is 97-63 when he plays against the Jays. 97 wins.
Fly ball hit to center. Pilar. He's got room. Miller's going back to tag at first, and he will head towards second and slide in safely. So Longoria's retired on the long fly ball to center. Miller picked up on it, went back to first, tagged, and advanced on the out.
One other note about Longoria, that was his 600th career at bat against the Blue Jays, most against any one team. And he took that ball to right field deep enough for the runner to tag up.
Longoria came into the league in 2008. He was the American League Rookie of the Year that season. Logan Morrison starting at first base this afternoon. He did not appear in the game last night. He's off to a good start. 6 homers and 15 RBIs. Tied for the team lead in home runs.
You know, a year ago at this time, Buck, we had played a couple of series against Tampa Bay. I think everybody wanted to get rid of Logan Morrison if he were from Tampa because he got off to a horrendous start as a Ray. This year, though, they love him. Playing first base just about every day. He is contributing, coming up with some big base hits. He's already had 6 home runs.
Fouls that one off. It's a ball on the strike. Morrison hitting .261. He's 3 for 13 against Estrada. Marco has allowed only 3 home runs all season long, but all 3 of those home runs came in one game against Tampa Bay right here at the Trop. It was his 2nd start of the season on April 9th. Same pitching matchup as we have today. Estrada against Odorizzi.
And all 3 of those home runs came off of his signature pitch, the changeup.
Another interesting note about the home runs, they all came with Estrada ahead in the count. 2 home runs came on a 2-1 pitch. The other came on an 0-2 pitch. The only home runs he's allowed this season.
He wasn't able to put that changeup where he needed to. Everything was up that day. That was the only game this year where he's given up more than 2 earned runs. And the home runs did him in.
Fastball right on the corner. Catches the corner. Morrison didn't think so, giving the umpire his thoughts about that outside pitch. That look tells everything you need to know what he thought about that. Are you kidding me? This guy doesn't need any help. Don't give him that pitch.
It's the difference between 3-1 and 2-2. But I thought it was a strike. I mean, it's right on the corner. That's what we mean about Estrada with his fastball. He can go outside corner, inside corner. He's got good fastball command.
Miller picks up a stolen base with Morrison hitting. Blue Jays are playing in the shift, and Maley did a good thing. He just kind of tempered his throw and threw to hit Barney on the run. He knew if he threw it toward the bag, Barney wouldn't be there. Well, watch his throw. Just kind of lobs it to Barney on his way toward third, but much too late.
Well, that's the last thing you want, is to throw a ball down the left field line. Going back to his quarterback days right there, hitting the receiver across the middle.
3-2, 2 outs. Runner at third base. Miller walked, went to second on the fly ball to center, and stole third. Pulled foul. Marco's always had a little bit of trouble in the first inning, really settling into the flow of the game. This is his 7th start of the season. He's allowed 5 first inning hits. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for Estrada, who's been so tough to hit, seems like the first inning is that hurdle he needs to get over to get into the flow of the game.
We talked about that in the opening. He's had the best batting average against in the last 3 years in the American League. Nobody's been finer.
Fastball right by him. Estrada gets out of it. He strikes out Morrison to strand Bad Miller at third base. 1-0 Blue Jays.
Night was ticked because he was hit by a pitch by Francisco Liriano, because he had to be taken out of the game, because he had to go for x-rays, although they were negative, that he couldn't turn his wrist over when having to swing the bat. He accused Liriano of intentionally hitting him right there. And when I asked Liriano about it today, he chuckled, then said, nobody wants to hit him in that spot. Left on left, Longoria coming up next. You think I want to load the bases? You don't want to hit a guy in that situation. John Gibbons was a little more blunt. He said there's no way in hell that was intentional. The manager pointed out that it was evident in the fourth that Liriano had started to struggle and scatter the ball. He said there was no intent behind that. Liriano gets the last word, though. He said, I wasn't trying to hit him, but if he thinks that, that's his problem. Then added, quote, that's his opinion. I don't care about it. Guys?
And you know what? It doesn't hurt to leave a little doubt in a hitter's mind. Never know what a pitcher's thinking. And I think that's the best way to handle it. Liriano had a disappointing start once again. Second time he's had a rough outing down here at Trop against the Rays.
Said he just lost it again. Just lost this feel for the pitch and his rhythm. And was only able to go 3 2/3. Good job by the bullpen last night.
Once again, bullpen has stepped up and given John Gibbons some lengthy outings. Danny Barnes was terrific, retiring all 7 batters he faced. Aaron picked up the win. This is Justin Smoke with a 1-1 count. He hooks it on the ground. Miller is out in right field. He boots it. Smoke hustling down the line, and he'll get there. So Miller playing in the shift out in shallow right. That's the 18th error that the Rays have committed for Miller. That's his 4th. And that's the way this top of the second starts for the Jays.
And that's why he is at his 3rd position in 3 years for Tampa. It's right at him, and he's got some time. Made a great play to start the 1st inning, but he just can't come up with it here. That is a dangerous throw for a first baseman who is very defensive over there at first base. That throw is right on the line. You got that runner rolling down the line on you. You want to throw that ball to the inside of the base.
This is Devin Travis. Devin's starting to come out of it a bit. He had a big double in the 8th inning. He came around to scored the tying run, and then Kendrys Morales with the 3-run home run in the 8th.
His last at bat might have been his best at bat. Smoked that ball to left field on a line right at the left fielder.
Devin is from the east coast of Florida. He's got family and friends here for this weekend series, and he's starting to come around. As we mentioned, he's dealt with that knee surgery in the offseason, didn't have many at-bats in the spring, and now he's just starting to get his rhythm and timing. Over those last 4 games, he swung the bat well. Two balls and a strike. Had a good cut and found it back.
Another one of those high fastballs to him. He just couldn't get to it. He stands off the plate and really strides into the baseball. You think as a pitcher you can get him out down and away, but he's got good plate coverage on the outside part of the plate.
He gets jammed and hits a little pop-up, and there's interference here as the umpire Larry Vanover calls Smoke for interfering with the fielder's ability to make the play. He made contact with him, so Smoke is out. Travis will take his place at first base, and that was a tough one for a base runner.
Well, you're out there and you're in the baseline, but you have to give the first baseman or the fielder a chance to field the ball. There's the interference right there, and the crew chief Larry Vanover called it right away. He was standing right there, saw it. Yeah, you have to give way. You got to give the fielder a chance to field the ball.
So Smoke is out. It's a 3 unassisted at first base. Travis takes his spot, and Kevin Pillar said, "You didn't know which way to go, did you?" Those things will happen, and that was a very low pop-up. He didn't hit it very high. There goes Travis. The throw from Norris. There's been plenty of time. That may have been a hit and run. Travis got a late break. That's the first time he's been caught. He has 2 stolen bases, and Norris throws out just his second base runner of the season.
Well, an inning that looked like it was going to be promising after the error. Yeah, somebody missed a sign right there. Devin Travis is going to look in. See him looking in? That's an indication that there was a hit and run on, that he was going to try and pick up the baseball. But no swing, no protection, and he's an easy out.
So the promising inning now is really kind of down the drain. Nobody on and 2 outs. Owens drives this one to left field. Colby Erasmus going toward the corner, gets there and makes the catch. Owens flies out to end the top half of the second.
and we will have a new code tomorrow. Buck?
Thank you very much, Arash. And Blue Jay fans are here. They turn out, watch their ball club no matter where they travel. A lot of players have family and friends in this area as well, so I'm sure there are a lot of family members in attendance. Marco Estrada pitching with the lead. We'll deal with Steven Souza Jr. to start the bottom of the second. Souza walked in his first 3 plate appearances, all against Liriano in last night's game. The third walk came with the bases loaded. He picked up an RBI. For the night, he was officially 0 for 2.
Showing a little bit more patience at the plate this year. He had a swing and miss rate last year of almost 1 in 3. So every 3 times he would swing the bat, he would swing and miss. This year is a little bit more under control. Putting up some pretty good at bats. He's off to a good start. That average has just slipped under 300.
He's 1 for his last 17, and that's why he has been dropped down in the order of them. Souza walks for the 4th time in this series.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Tampa Bay area, we are down at the south end of Tampa Bay in St. Petersburg, Florida. 1-0 Blue Jays. Leadoff walk to Steven Souza Jr. Kobe Rasmus, the former Blue Jay, batting. He goes after the first pitch and hits it out of play.
He is as aggressive a hitter as you want to see. Anything close, Colby is ready to swing that bat. Always looking to try and yank that ball to right field.
Colby came to the Blue Jays in 2011. He played through the 2014 season, excuse me. So basically, he spent parts of 4 seasons with the Jays. This is playable. Carrera coming in from left, and he's going to get there. He makes the catch. Rasmus is retired, 1 away.
Shortstop, number 1, Tim Beckham.
Now that's the start to a perfect Saturday afternoon if I've ever seen one. 3 pals hanging out at the ballpark having a hot dog. They even know how to wear their sunglasses on top of their hat.
Just like the big leaguers.
For no apparent reason.
We're indoors, right? Got their hot dogs, got the Jays on.
Tim Beckham. Well, you talk about a guy off to a good start. He's batting .275. He is tied for the team lead in home runs. He has 6 home runs. That's already more than he hit all year last year.
Yeah, 5 last year and 198 at bats all last year. He's tied with Logan Morrison and Corey Dickerson for the team lead with those 6 home runs.
Souza coming back off of hip surgery has yet to come up with a stolen base. Rays, much like the Blue Jays, they don't have many base stealers in their lineup. Estrada's having a little trouble finding the strike zone, and the home plate umpire David Rackley has had a very conservative strike zone. Both pitchers have looked in to react as if they thought they'd thrown strikes, but Rackley has been consistent for both sides. Just a very tight strike zone early on.
I think it's important for Marco to get those corners with that fastball because it sets everything else up. And he can go inside or outside with that. He can really stay in his lanes with that fastball, and he's got to have those calls. Sets everything else up.
Beckham with a big wild swing, and he's behind 1-2 now. Another close pitch, and Estrada didn't get to call. What Marco can't do is he can't make adjustments and challenge that middle of the strike zone. He just can't live there. He has to make the pitches on the corner, and he has to maintain his composure.
Yeah, and he will. He can make adjustments while he is out there. Just note how many fastballs he's throwing.
Beckham strikes out on a great changeup. Second strikeout of the game.
All of that was set up by the fastballs. He kept pumping at Beckham, picking at the corners, going upstairs if he needs to, and then on a 2-2 count, you drop the Fosh on him. The changeup, no chance. It's the spin off of those middle two fingers that make it so impressive. It looks like a fastball, and then it just looks like it stops if you're going to try and hit it.
Kevin Kiermaier goes after the first pitch. Kiermaier got hit on his hand last night while batting against Liriano in the 4th inning. He would not get another plate appearance as he couldn't swing the bat.
So he's going to make a little bit of an adjustment at the plate. He's going to drop his 2 bottom fingers off of the bat. That is the hand that got hit by Liriano last night. So he's just going to drop it off the bat to give himself a little bit more freedom. He's taped it up there, and he put a little pads on there.
Little flare into right. That's going to get down for a base hit. Souza goes first to third. Kiermaier has a base hit in his first at bat.
You put some tape on there to absorb some of the sting so it doesn't hurt your hand. Nothing wrong with a swing that time. And there's all the padding that he's going to take off and hand over to Rocco Baldelli.
The catcher, number 33, Eric Norris.
Change up again. That's 2 in a row. Hit it right off the end of the bat.
2-out base hit for Kiermaier, and Souza goes first to third. He started the inning drawing the walk against Estrada. Number 9 hitter is the catcher, Derek Norris. Norris with a 5-game hit streak. Estrada's got to have those pitches. Those are all borderline pitches. He continues to try to work the edges. To short. Force at second, and the inning is over, so the walk and the single don't factor in. We've played 2 complete here in St. Pete. The Blue Jays behind Marco Estrada lead it 1-0. Estrada, and we talk about Estrada not getting his just due in recognition. Look at Odorizzi's numbers since the All-Star break. 8-2, over 100 innings pitched. His ERA very respectable at 2.85. His whip is just over 1, and the opponents are not doing much against him either.
No, those are great numbers. More splitters and more cutters for Odorizzi. I guess if there's one thing that you'd like to see him do a little bit better is get the pitch count down. He's averaging too many pitches per inning. And when you do that, you just don't stick around too long.
Last season, he threw 17.6 pitches per inning. Most in the American League and the second most in the majors.
Yeah,
Only Robbie Ray of the Arizona Diamondbacks threw more pitches per inning than Odorizzi.
His stuff is so good. He's got a lot of pitches that he could choose from. He's only had 4 walks this year.
Darwin Barney lifts it down the right field line. Souza over into foul territory, makes the catch.
So with just 4 walks, he must be cutting down those pitches per inning, working a little bit quicker, throwing more strikes.
Another thing that has plagued Odorizzi is the long ball. He's given up home runs to the Blue Jays in 6 straight starts, including the home run by Carrera today. And he's given up 10 home runs overall in his last 11 starts. So the long ball has been a concern. Here he'll face his former teammate Luke Maile, the catcher. Maile is 0 for 7 since joining the Blue Jays. He has a couple of walks. One and one.
They play Luke extreme pole on the infield with 3 infielders on the left side. When you watch him hit, does he suggest that he's a pole hitter?
No.
It's like he's able to hit the ball to all fields.
I know that's what he does during batting practice. We try to watch him swing the bat, and he's always trying to hit it up the middle. He got a good pitch to hit and fouled it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the top of the 3rd. Blue Jays scored a run in the top half of the 1st, and Ezequiel Carrera 1 out home run. He got jammed, and Odorizzi will flip to first. 2 away.
Well, while we got a second, let's take a look at the scouting report and the pitch usage from Jake Odorizzi. Told you he's got all kind of weapons to get you out. Splitter, cutter, slider, curveball, fastball, a little bit of everything. If he can hone in on 3 of those and command 3 of those, he's going to be a tough guy. This year he's throwing 7% more splitters than he did last year. He's throwing his cutter about 8% more than he did. So he's throwing fewer fastballs than he did last year, more off-speed pitches.
Kevin Pillar grounded out to second base. A nice play by the second baseman Brad Miller, going into the outfield, sliding, grabbing it, and throwing Pillar out at first.
And with him throwing more splitters this year, he's getting more ground balls, especially against right-handed batters.
This is the 30th game the Blue Jays have played. Pillar has played in all of them. He has gone hitless in just 5 games. And that's how he hit 300. Consistency.
Consistency. His at-bats from game to game have been very consistent. John Gibbons said he wanted to be a leadoff hitter. We put him up there, and he has really come through for us.
One and two away. Pillar gets on it. When you look at Pillar over his minor league career, this is not a surprise. He's always hit wherever he's gone, and this year he's among the leaders in hits. Starlin Castro, the Yankees, Mike Trout, and Kevin Pillar. Top 5, off to great starts, obviously.
Says he put in a lot of work in the offseason with Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach, just to get him on his legs a little bit more balanced. A lot of it is mental too, you know. He would go up there and say, okay, I'm going to swing at this pitch, and no matter where it was, he was swinging at it. I think that's just a young hitter now starting to feel confident and comfortable at the major league level. 3 years now in the big leagues for Kevin.
Good take. A couple of years ago, he'd be wailing at that pitch just because he has 2 strikes.
Yeah.
He's become a good hitter.
They'd be running off the field right now. The Blue Jays will be grabbing their gloves, but he just took that one like it was nothing.
Came right back with the same pitch, and this time Pilar strikes out. So the Blue Jays go quietly in the top of the 3rd against Jake Odorizzi.
Says he had his last bad outing of last year. He had a little rough spot. It was 4 consecutive starts where he struggled, but he said it was here that day that he dotted up the glove, and while things didn't work out, he told himself that night, look, I promise you it'll go well if he continue to do that. He threw it extremely well. He thought he turned a corner amidst the adversity. Go figure. His next outing against Seattle, he had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. Estrada didn't even throw a bullpen last year between the start here in Tampa and then against Seattle. That's when he learned exactly what he needed between starts. Guys?
Yeah, Pete Walker talks about that often with a lot of his pitches, where he has kind of gotten away from that ritual of throwing in between starts. Popped up, back over the screen and out of play.
He says a lot of times they do it just because everybody else has done it. He said, you know what, when I was a starter, I would go out and throw my 40 pitches in between starts 2 days after I started, and I was gassed. So he has learned that, you know what, maybe it's better to just back off in between starts and save your bullets.
Yeah, there's so many theories and philosophies about that, and when you look at the innings and the pitch counts, how they're down, I don't know if there's any real proof of one way works over another way. But I know one thing, pitchers don't pitch as many innings as they used to in a game, during a season, over the course of a career.
I think that's by design. I really do. I think they're finding that once they hit a certain pitch limit that they lose their velocity and they'll give up their share of runs. There's another good fastball from Estrada. So they're not pitching as longer, and they're hoping that if they don't pitch as much that they'll be able to pitch longer in their career. They won't get hurt as much.
Well, Jay Happ and Aaron Sanchez, the 2 pictures on the disabled list, and Aaron continues to have improvement with his blister issue. Through, going to play catch, going to throw tomorrow, might have a simulated game or a extended spring game on Tuesday, and depending on how that goes, then he might get an opportunity to start next Sunday against Seattle. Jay Happ not quite as close, and they have said that he's thrown flat ground 60 feet. The first goal is 120. Get him out to 120 feet, and then they'll get him on the mound.
Yeah, he's up to 90 feet. The other day he threw flat ground 90 feet, and the whole key is 120 feet. If you can get to 120, because that simulates a pitcher for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what we are told. 120 feet flat ground. I guess that's when you really let it go.
That's the effort it takes to throw 60 feet 6 inches to
on a mound.
Replicate the mound. So once he gets to 120 feet, then they will get him on the mound again and start that process. But Sanchez has been encouraged by the way that fingernail issue has healed up. Boy, Estrada, he's locked in now. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the third, and that was a great changeup. He strikes out Miller.
He had him so off balance on that swing. Set it up with a couple of fastballs early again in the count, and then drops that changeup on him. Look how off balance Brad Miller, the hitter, is. Just can't come up with it.
First pitch strikes to 5 of the last 6 Rays batters that have faced him. Longoria going after that first pitch. That was the cutter, and Estrada uses it very efficiently. Doesn't throw a lot of them, but it'll take the ball off the barrel of the right-handed hitter's bat.
He throws it at the right time. 3-1 count, and a guy sitting on a fastball. He'll drop a little cutter on him. Strike one, excuse me, Buck. He'll throw the cutter to get ahead of the right-handed batters, and he'll also run that cutter up and in on the lefties, which is a good pitch.
You know, we're saying that he does that, but we all know that Marco doesn't shake off the catcher. So we got to give Luke Maile a lot of props for calling the right pitches. In fact, that might have been a curveball, one of the rare curveballs he throws.
Yeah, he didn't have his curveball last start. Just didn't have a good feel for it in New York. Could have been the weather, it could have been the mound, it could have just been the way that he felt that day. So he went out there, just threw 5 of them in that last start. Still pitched great baseball.
Change up. Longoria lays off. Great numbers for Longoria, as Pat mentioned earlier in the game against the Blue Jays, but he is 3 for 23 against Marco Estrada. 1-2. Reaches for that fastball, and that sneaks through into center for a base hit. Just stayed on it and didn't roll over, stayed with it, and gets it past Goins into center.
You know, Evans just a great hitter. He's a great baseball player. This is a pretty good pitch, up and away, and the reaction from Estrada says, are you kidding me? How did you hit that pitch? And then how did you find a hole? That was a pretty good pitch from Estrada. Longoria was just a little bit better there.
College teammates at Long Beach State. So far, they split the first 2 at bats. Longoria 1 for 2, a 2-out single. Longoria has been dealing with minor fasciitis in his left foot. He has not played third base until last night's game over the last week, so you wouldn't expect him to be running.
Doesn't have a stolen base attempt this year. He's going to sit back and he's going to let Logan Morrison swing the bat.
He swings the bat but hits it well foul. He was out in front of that pitch. Morrison struck out on a fastball his first time up. And Estrada's one of those guys that'll get you talking to yourself in the batter's box. Okay, throw me a fastball now. It's a changeup. Last time he got me with a fastball, but maybe he's going to throw me that cutter.
You got yourself looking for pitches, and you're a pitch behind if you start to do that.
High fly ball deep to right. Bautista looking up. This ball is gone. Logan Morrison connects for a 2-run home run with 2 outs. His 7th.
2 strikeouts to lead off the inning. Throws a good pitch to Longoria, and Evan finds a hole, and then Morrison looked like it might have been another changeup. You mentioned it last time that Estrada's given up 4 home runs now this whole year. All of them in this ballpark, all of them off of the changeup. And there she is again. It stays up, can't finish it and get it down. And it looked like Logan Morrison almost double clutched on that and kept his weight back.
That was a 1-1 changeup, and all 4 of those home runs, as you mentioned, came on the Estrada changeup. Chad Mottola in his first full season as the hitting coach. Getting some information and feedback from Logan Morrison, who hit the home run. Got to hear that information from your hitters when they're doing well, so you can make note of it and pass it back to them. Barney at third, across the diamond in time. Souza's retired, but Evan Longoria gets a 2-out single, and then Logan Morrison connects for his 7th home run, a team-leading 7th home run, and the Rays have a 2-1 lead. Hit streak to 12 straight games in his first at bat, and it was a very interesting at bat with 1 out in the first.
Carrera gets a 3-2 fastball out over the plate, and it bounces into the stands and then out of the stands. So he thinks the ball's in play. And how about this? That's not a home run trot. That's a home run sprint.
Now the umpire in center field, second base umpire Alfonso Marquez, called safe, as if to suggest the ball never left the ballpark. Home runs accounting for all the runs in this ball game. A solo shot by Carrera, 2-run home run by Morrison. It's the 2-1 lead for Tampa Bay.
I'm sure he'd sprint around the bases every time he had a chance to, if it meant a home run. We put a timer on that. 16 seconds. Ezekiel made it around the bases.
Bouncing ball, big hop for the shortstop Beckham. He throws to first in time. One of them.
I have one of those things. I didn't hit the home run, but I was on first base once, and Joe Carter was hitting and hit a deep drive to left center field, and I said, well, that's not going to go out. So I started sprinting, and I tripped around second base and fell down, and it was a home run, and he was right behind me, almost past me.
He had to stop quickly, huh?
He had to stop.
What are you doing, Tabby?
The ball was like 10 rows deep, and I'm laying out on the ground at shortstop.
Bautista. Nice play by Beckham. Sounded like he may have broken his bat. It was a line drive headed into the outfield, but Beckham left his feet, makes a good grab for the second out of the inning.
That was good usage of a cutter, too. It looked like a fastball coming down the middle of the plate and then went right to his bat, the end of the bat. Jose lines it right at Beckham. Playing every day as a shortstop. You can get your rhythm in the field. You can get your rhythm at the plate. And Beckham's playing some good baseball right now.
Kendrys Morales called out on strikes his first time up. Off the plate, Morales hit a game-tying home run in the 7th. That was off Chris Archer. Then a 3-run home run in the 8th off Jumbo Diaz. He's only the 2nd player in Blue Jays history to pair of lead-changing home runs in the 2nd or 8th inning. Carlos Delgado was the only other player that hit 2 late home runs to give the Blue Jays the lead. That happened in 1999 at Safeco Field against the Seattle Mariners.
What he did, what Morales did, he did in a win. That was the first time the Blue Jays won a game when something like that happened. First Blue Jays player in a road victory to do that.
In Delgado's game, the Mariners came back and won it in extra innings. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morales batting with 2 outs in the 4th. Liner to left, and that's going to get down in front of Colby Erasmus.
All-new 2017 CRV with revamped cargo space. It's the biggest fan yet. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
That's the Don Cesar Hotel on the Gulf of Mexico, not far from this ballpark. 2 outs for Justin Smoke. Smoke reached on an air his first time up.
Not really sure what he wants to do there. You were mentioning the home run that Morales hit against Archer. That was a tough part of the ball game right there. And Kevin Cash had a decision to make. Does he stick with Chris Archer or does he try to go to his bullpen late in that game? Aren't you glad you don't have to make those decisions?
Wow. It was a tough one because it was the 3rd time Morales was facing Archer and he connected for a home run.
And everybody knows the great numbers that Morales has had in his career versus Archer. But you have those decisions. Do I go with him? And Kevin Cash was saying, hey, I'm going to stick with my ace and I'm going to trust that he's going to get him out. And it didn't work. High splitter right off the face mask and it snaps that buckle.
Yeah, Derek Norris has to do a little repair job to make sure that mask is secure once again. And he has rebuckled that one strap. It popped loose on him. And I'm going to make sure it's okay before he squats back down and takes his position. I don't miss that.
Yeah, you don't miss that either.
That foul tip right into the catcher's mask. Breaking ball drops in on the outside corner. It's 1-2 now. Smoke hit his 5th home run in the game last night. He and Morales went back to back in the 8th inning. 1-2. Upstairs.
Soft, and then hard fastball. Justin's been hitting the ball hard early in the count. The home run that he hit yesterday was on the first pitch that he saw from Justin Marks.
Justin Marks has been sent back to the minor leagues. Erasmo Ramirez has been activated off the paternity list. So the left-hander that pitched in yesterday's game is gone. Odorizzi taking a long time getting the pitch he wants, and now they'll have to talk about it.
I don't think Norris has any more fingers to put down. Looked like he tried everything there. He has something on his mind. Jake Odorizzi has something on his mind. So better safe than sure than go out there and just make sure that they're on the same page.
So now they are set. Look at a mighty cut. Well, Boston, they jumped all over Minnesota early in that game. They had an 8-0 lead after 2 innings.
Pounded out 16 more hits today.
And the count 3-2. Morales at first will be off on the pitch. They're going to play behind Morales as Morrison has just gotten word he passed it along to the pitcher. So Morales had a little extra lead at first. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Top of the 4th. Pulls it foul, and Morales will have to return to first.
Time to get your sprints hit. 3-2. Smoke's been seeing the ball. Vic tried breaking balls to him, and he's hit them hard to left field. Vic tried putting fastballs by him, and he's been able to get the barrel out. Again, playing every day. Last year, he didn't have that consistent playing every day.
Fouls this one back, and Morales will return for a second time. Okay, that's 2 sprints of 90 feet, getting his running in. Odorizzi's pitch count is elevated once again. He's thrown 61 pitches with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Looked like it was going to be a pretty easy inning. Carrera grounded out early in the count. Jose hit the first pitch. The Morales single, and this has been a long at bat.
There goes Morales. Fly ball, shallow left. Rasmus is there near the foul line, and that'll end the inning. Blue Jays get a 2-out single, leave a base runner. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Rasmus will lead things off for the Rays against Estrada.
Appears as if he's going to shuffle the deck. At the morning skate today, Alex Ovechkin with Eller and Wilson, Burakovsky with Backstrom and Oshie. Game 5 rather, Washington, Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby has passed concussion protocol. He has a game time decision. Moments ago, he was taping a stick at the Penguins bench. Game 5 tonight. Buck on CBC and Sportsnet.
Great action to see 2 of the best hockey players going head to head in that Stanley Cup playoff game. Kobe Rasmus fouls off the first breaking ball from Marco Starr. Kobe flying out to left field. His only time up. Colby and his brother Corey were both in camp with the Rays all spring long, and Corey has since been let go. Colby had off-season surgery on his hip, and he has just recently been activated. He's in his 9th major league season. He came up with the Cardinals in 2009 as a 22-year-old. Popped up, shallow left. Carrera coming in. He gets there and makes the catch.
You know, Buck, we were talking in the opening about Marco Estrada and how he has been able to keep the opposition down. The batting average since 2015, he leads some of these great pitchers. Verlander, Sale, Kluber, they're Cy Young Award winners, and they've won a lot of hardware. But it's Marco Estrada with a 206 average since 2015, which is the best in baseball. And I looked a little bit more into those numbers. And for pitchers with at least 60 games since 2015, only Estrada has given up less than 300 hits compared to all those other great pitchers in the American League. He's given up less than 300 hits since 2015. And when they put the ball in play, his batting average of 232 is the lowest in the American League. So even when they do hit it, they don't get much with it. A lot of soft contact. They just don't seem to square up Estrada. So I think it's time to start mentioning his name with some of the great pitchers in the AL.
I think if you talk to the hitters, they'd tell you how challenging it is to face Marco Estrada because he has such great command. He's got a good assortment of pitches. He's got that signature changeup that he can locate.
Well, there's only 3 pitchers since 2015 who have a lower batting average against, and they're all in the National League. Jake Arrieta, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer. I mean, those are some of the best in all of baseball. But they don't have to deal with the DH like Marco and some of these other American League pitchers have to deal with. And some of those guys aren't even dealing with some of the lineups that Estrada has to deal with in the American League East. Think about some of those lineups and ballparks that he's pitching in. Still has the 4th best in all of baseball batting average against.
Yeah, and you made a key statement when you said the ballparks, because there are some small ballparks in the AL East. Hitter-friendly ballparks for sure.
What would he do at Dodger Stadium day in and day out in the National League when the pitcher has to hit?
Beckham called out on strikes. Another fastball for a strikeout. But when you look at this Jays staff, and everybody will argue, well, you know, Sanchez is the ace, Happ won 20 games, Stroman's got great stuff. But in reality, the ace might be Marco Estrada when you look at his ERA compared to the rest of the staff this season. And we all understand that the staff is kind of beat up right now, but Marco is consistent.
He gets his starts. It's half of what everybody else is at 2-4.
Now he's starting to get that borderline strike in his favor. Kevin Kiermaier singled on a high changeup his last time up. He singled to right. Ground ball. Smoke knocks it down. They better hurry. Estrada is there in time, and they get him. Smoke stayed with it. He knew he had to hustle because Kiermaier gets down the line, but an easy inning for Marco Estrada. We'll go to the 5th. Blue Jays trail by a run. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Member of the ground crew puts on a dance show here when they drag the infield. He's quite an entertainer, and Rays fans enjoy it. Comes out with his rake and ends up dancing most of the time. Devin Travis leads things up. Devin hit a little pop-up his first time up between first and second. And Justin Smoke, the runner at first base, ran into Logan Morrison, so Smoke was called out for interference, and Travis reached base.
And then he was promptly thrown out trying to steal. It looked like a missed hit and run on somebody's part. So an inning that looked like it might bear fruit. Blue Jays got 0.
Broken bat. That's going to be caught by Miller. Put it right off the end of the bat for the first out of the inning.
Buy 6 cans of Beauty Tone paint and get the 7th free. Available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts.
Beautiful shot of the Gulf of Mexico as Blue Jays are playing the second of 3 games here, and tomorrow they will play their 10th game of the season against the Rays on the 7th of May, and that'll be over halfway through their schedule against Tampa Bay.
Hey, you only play him 19 times. Tomorrow's number 10. Second trip already for the Blue Jays here in Tampa. Tell you what, I'd rather be spending my time down here than some of the weather that we have seen up in the Midwest.
Getting a little nasty.
Ooh.
The postponements, rainouts, local flooding in the Midwest.
They had a game yesterday, the Yankees and the Cubs game, with a wind chill factor of 37. So what is that, like 3?
Yeah, it's too cold.
Whatever it is, it's too cold to be playing baseball.
Owens with a big cut. It's now 1-2. Ryan 0 for 1 so far against Odorizzi. Odorizzi has some unusual streaks in his starts. We mentioned the home runs. He's given up home runs to the Blue Jays in 7 straight starts. On the ground. Miller, the second baseman, has it. 2 away. But another one that's really interesting is his lefty-righty matchups. Lefties hitting much better this year than they did a year ago. He really finished up strong in the second half of last year. His ERA in the second half, 2.71. But he's also been kind of a hard luck pitcher. He had 17 no decisions last season, tying Jose Quintana of the White Sox in 2013 for the most by American League starter since 1913.
13 of those no decisions when allowing 2 earned runs or fewer. Here's another one for you against the Blue Jays. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in his last 6 starts versus the Blue Jays. He's been tough on him, like we said. He doesn't have much to show for it because they don't get many runs for him. And he's had 5 career starts against the Blue Jays here at Tropicana Field. He's never given up more than 2 earned runs against the Jays. So they are in tough. More of it today. He's only given up 2 hits.
This is kind of the way the game started last night. The Rays had a 3-1 lead into the top half of the 7th. And the Blue Jays scored 2 in the 7th, 5 in the 8th, and went away with the win.
Well, there's the numbers that just back up what you were talking about. Most starter no decisions in the last 2 seasons. Jake Odorizzi's had 19 of them, followed by Michael Pineda. There's Marco with his 15. You pitch well, but sometimes you just don't get any runs to help you out.
Another thing that factors in is they don't pitch deep into games. Get 6 innings and you're out of the ball game, and if you stay in longer, another couple of innings, your club might score a run or two. They might score a run off you, but a lot of these pitchers nowadays are 6-inning pitchers, so they're going to end up with a lot of no decisions.
And sometimes that goes back to pitch count. If you have those extended innings and those high pitch counts, then you just can't do 7 or 8 innings.
Darwin Barney has worked it to a full count. Luke Maile is on deck. He's batting 9th this afternoon. Pop up, shallow right. Miller records all 3 outs of the inning. The Blue Jays down in order in the 5th. Jake Odorizzi clinging to a 1-run lead. I'm along here with Pat Tabler and Arash Madani. We are at the Trop in St. Petersburg. We move to the bottom of the 5th, and the Rays have a 2-1 lead thanks to Logan Morrison's 7th home run of the season, a 2-run homer in the 3rd. For the Rays here in the 5th, it'll be 9-1-2. Norris, Dickerson, and Miller against Marco Estrada. High fly ball into center field. Carrera never saw it. Pilar is there, and he makes the catch. Carrera put his hands out to the side, and he's very thankful that Pilar saw it. He's looking up into that roof saying, man, this is really not a lot of fun out
No, and that's a helpless feeling when the ball goes up. It disappears in that canvas of the roof, or when you're playing outside and the sun shines out there and it goes up in the sun. It's a very helpless feeling. You got to make that catch, but you have no idea where the ball is. Luckily, it was right at Pilar.
Corey Dickerson, the leadoff man, has gone 0 for 2 so far.
Do you ever have a ball go up and not see it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times. Off the bat, take your mask off, look up and go, where is it? I actually had one hit the roof of the Metrodome, and it came down like a feather. Took all the spin off of it.
Came down like a knuckleball?
No, just kind of floated down, no spin, just really kind of straight down.
It hit the roof?
Yeah. Randy Bush hit it.
That's way up there.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Remember how they used to give you 1, 2, and 3 to where it was? Popped up. They'd go 1, 1, 1. That's the first base side. 2 was behind home plate, and 3 was on the third base side because you couldn't see it. You never saw it off the bat.
You just hope that you looked up there and it came down and you caught the moving object. Happened to me one time in Oakland. It's the worst sun field I've ever played in. There was a fly ball to left field. I was trying to play left field, lost it in the sun, and hit me right in the chest. Bad feeling.
2-1 to Dickerson. Goes after that pitch and hits it right over our head. Speaking of Oakland and a sun field, the great Willie Mays had a tough time in '73 in the World Series when he was playing for the Mets. And today is Willie Mays' 86th birthday. So happy birthday to the Say Hey Kid.
You're a hero.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Best player I ever saw. Foul back again.
I didn't get a chance to watch really Willie Mays in his prime. You're a little bit older than I am, but you did. But I saw him at the end of his career, and he was still pretty special in his late 30s.
He played the game with a lot of joy. Had a very high-pitched voice, and you could hear him all over the ballpark.
Bobby Bonds was a coach of mine when I was with the Cleveland Indians, and he was supposedly the next Willie Mays when he came up with the Giants. He used to talk about Mays, just beer. Great player, great man.
Estrada with the 3-2 pitch to Dickerson. Got him. Dickerson strikes out for a second time. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Blue Jay fans, young and old, here at Tropicana Field to watch their ball club play. 2 outs for Brad Miller. He has walked and struck out. Boy, Estrada's got it working now, doesn't he?
He's got his fastball working. He is establishing that early in the counts. He got Miller last time on a 2-strike changeup. This time he's thrown 2 fastballs by him.
He threw him another fastball.
Makes it look easy. I know it's not easy what he's doing, but he makes it look easy. He says, I just want to pound the glove and work quickly. Something that he learned from Mark Burley.
Change up. Miller wouldn't chase. Estrada talks about how much he enjoys pitching for the Blue Jays. He said, you're pitching for a whole nation. And you see that certainly on the road when the Blue Jay fans travel so well. Another changeup. He is tough to hit. He baffles these hitters day in and day out. But right now, he trails 2-1. Brad Miller, watch this swing. Another changeup. He doesn't know what to do.
Saturdays are presented by Boston Pizza. The next one is Saturday, May 13th, when the Blue Jays face the Mariners at 1:07 Eastern. Special price kids tickets exist in the 200 level outfield and 500 level. And after the games, as always, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Junior Jays Saturdays presented by Boston Pizza. BlueJays.com for tickets.
Ground ball off the bat of Luke Maile right to the shortstop, Tim Beckham, one away. Let's check in again with the Rash.
Well, Buck, just how far has Kevin Pillar come as a big leaguer? John Gibbons was reflecting today. He was a free-swinging hacker when he first showed up, Gibbons said. And now Pillar came into today, tied with Mike Trout for the second most hits in the American League. Pillar told me that earlier in his career he didn't have the maturity to let strikes go, but now finds with 2 strikes, he's a confident hitter. Take last night, facing 0-2 in the 8th, trailing a run. He hit the game-tying RBI double. Pillar lobbied the manager since spring to hit leadoff, and Gibbons today said, quote, "I put a lot of stock when the individual tells me I want to do this. I think I can do this because in general, they really believe they'll get it done."
Kevin has backed up his words to the skipper. He has done a great job of setting the table, hitting out of the leadoff spot. So far this afternoon, he's 0 for 2, but the Blue Jays have but 2 hits. Off the end of the bat, Tapper right back to the mound. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Six straight retired by Odorizzi. Morales had a 2-out base hit in the 4th. He's the last Blue Jay to reach base.
A lot of soft contact, too, here in the last few innings off of Odorizzi. He's keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate, and he's getting ahead of the hitters. Told you, you got plenty of ways to get you out with a great splitter and a cutter. Makes it a little bit tougher when he jumps ahead, strike 1.
Falls behind Carrera. Ezekiel is responsible for the only Blue Jays run. He homered in his first at bat. Second home run of the season. That home run gives him 8 RBIs on the year.
Extended his hitting streak. First inning.
One and 2, 2 outs. The Rays have an interesting record. In innings 1 through 5, they've outscored their opponents by 31 runs. 6th inning or later, they've been outscored by 29 runs. So their bullpen hasn't been very cooperative with their starters.
That's where the Jays got him yesterday. Got him late. Often. 7 runs in the last 3 innings. Got to figure out a way to get Odorizzi out of the ball game.
Carrera rolls over on this one, hits it to Morrison, who steps on the bag just ahead of Odorizzi. 9 pitches, and Odorizzi sets down the Blue Jays in order in the 6th.
18th is Mother's Day, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a Marco Estrada bobblehead. You can join in the 200-level WestJet flight deck, where an oasis dedicated to pampering mom has been created. The Blue Jays and Mariners for Marco Estrada bobblehead day next Sunday, 107bluejays.com for tickets.
The bobblehead, very good rendition of Marco Estrada. Everything but the glove. The bobblehead glove is a little bit too far down.
Oh, too low.
Not peeking over the top of his glove. Evan Longoria, 1 for 2. Singled and scored on the Logan Morrison home run. Longoria with a 2-out base hit. Longoria, Tulowitzki, and Estrada, all teammates at Long Beach State in their college days. Longoria with another hit. He's going to have to get over quickly, and they're not. They can't cut it off. Longoria is racing towards second. He's thinking about third, and then stops as he saw the return come into the infield. Drive of the Game is brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Last season, Logan Morrison was homerless through his first 91 at-bats of the season. But this year, this is his 7th home run already. A 2-run shot deep to right center field. The difference in this afternoon's ball game so far as it lands in the seats and he circles his bases. That is this afternoon's drive of the game from Logan Morrison.
Morrison's been a hot hitter. He's got a 5-game hit streak, 6 for 14, a 429 average during that hit streak. And at 7 home runs, now leads his team in that department. Longoria with his 2nd hit of the afternoon. He's at second with nobody out.
Leadoff double for Longoria, so you know what Logan Morrison's thinking about right here, trying to advance that runner. They had a lead yesterday 3-1 late in the ball game and coughed it up, so every run is important.
Longoria is now 5 for 8 in the series.
Cutter. And they try to go in the hands of Morrison right there.
Marco threw a terrific first pitch with the fastball. He got it up and inside and really tied up Morrison. See that first pitch high and tight on the lefty. That's going to score another run. Here comes Longoria, and Morrison's headed for second. Bautista's throw is not in time. Back-to-back doubles for the Rays here in the 6th.
It's going to be another RBI for Logan Morrison. It looked like another high changeup, the same type of pitch that he hit out in the 3rd inning. That's a changeup, and he's thinking about pulling the ball to the right side. It's exactly what he does. Just uses his hands and brings the barrel of the bat around and gets it into the outfield. That will score Longoria with their 3rd run. Good piece of hitting right there from Logan Morrison.
Morrison now with 18 RBIs has given the Rays a 3-1 lead.
Same idea right here. They're going to try and push that ball to the right side.
Breaking ball missed down and away to Souza.
That's when that fastball on the inside part of the plate becomes a good pitch for Estrada here.
Ball in the dirt, 2-0. The Blue Jays bullpen just now starting to stir. Joe Biagini is going to start tomorrow, so the Blue Jays would like to save as many bullpen innings as possible today with Estrada on the mound. Dominic Leone first up for the Jays this afternoon. Two and one to Souza. Souza so far in the series is 0 for 3, but he's walked 4 times. Broken bat, little dribbler up the first base line. He'll go right to smoke. Souza's retired on the plate. Morrison ends up at third.
Yeah, a piece of that bat ends up at third base. Charlie Montoya is going to pick it up and hand it in. Estrada throws a great pitch. It looked like it was right off the end of the bat. So I'm not sure that Souza uses one of those cup bats, but you hit it right off the end of the bat, you can just splinter it. Change up, ball doesn't get there, hits it right off the end of the bat, and there goes the splintered piece out towards third base. But it accomplishes what he wanted to do. He does have that cupped bat. Estrada didn't know if he should go after the ball or the piece of bat.
Yeah, you just watch something fly up the third baseline, not sure what it is. So now the Blue Jays will play an unusual infield defense here. In on the halfway on the right side. Barney holding the runner close at third. Kobe Rasmus. Twice he's flied out to left field. Blue Jays know Rasmus well, and he is prone to chasing that high fastball.
Yep, pound him up. You can get a pop-up, keep it in the infield, or a strikeout.
Hits this one high and deep to right. They didn't get it high enough. Kobe Rasmus with his first hit of the season. A 2-run home run.
Rasmus was brought over here to play good defense in the corners, either at left field or in right field. Supply some power from the left side, and he's done that today. He's made a couple of nice catches in the outfield, and now he's going to get his home run. High fastball, and they wanted it up and a little bit more in, but it ends up over the plate, and fans in Toronto have seen that before. That classic uppercut swing from Rasmus.
5-1 Tampa Bay. Jim Beckham has struck out twice, once swinging, once looking. Changeup, cut on and missed.
This is the only ballpark that Marco has had his problems in this year, and it's been the home run that has hurt him.
And it's also interesting that he's pitched some of his best baseball right here. Remember in 2015, he had a perfect game going into the 8th inning until Kelvin Forsythe reached base. That was on June 24th, 2015. Remember that great Donaldson catch when he drove into the seats? Morrison had an infield base hit to break up the perfect game. It wasn't Morrison, it was Forsythe, Logan Forsythe. Popped up and over near the dugout, and that's going to be over the screen.
Nice catch. That away. Future big leaguer.
Everybody packs their glove hoping to catch a foul ball, and that youngster did. Sitting in the first row of seats, look how he plays it, just sliding over to his right, comes back to his left and snares it. That's awesome. He'll never forget that.
What does the coach tell you? Never take your eye off the ball? Never did. Good play.
This is worth another look. There he is. He says, oh, that ball's coming back over my shoulder, but he's able to hang on and make the catch. Whoa.
He seems surprised.
Great look, huh? There's a pop-up playable. Travis calls off Smoke, and the second baseman makes the catch, but the Rays get 3 more runs here in the 6th before they can get out of it, as Kiermaier will come to the plate once again. Beckham is 0 for 3. Kiermaier has singled and has grounded out to the first baseman.
6 hits given up by Marco, 4 of them extra base hits by the Rays. They're getting to be almost an all or nothing team. They'll strike out, they'll take their walks, and they'll hit their share of home runs.
J.P. Howell has joined Dominic Leone. 5-1 Tampa Bay. On the ground, Travis at second. In time. But the Rays get 3 runs on 3 hits, a pair of doubles, and this 2-run home run off the bat of Colby Erasmus, his first hit of the season.
Internet with Sportsnet Now. Live stream the NHL, MLB, NBA, and more. To sign up and get 7 days free, visit snnow.ca. If you're doing it now, Buck, Derek Brassard scores just at the end of regulation. Ottawa and the Rangers in overtime in Game 5 in Canada.
Well, I tell you what, there have been a lot of overtime games in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
The Leafs played 5 overtime games in 6 games. Odorizzi, 2 hits over 6 innings, hasn't walked a batter and struck out 3.
2 hits that he has given up. The home run to Zico Carrera in the first inning, and the single by Morales in the 4th inning. That's it.
Two and 0. Blue Jays need some base runners. We told you that the Jays came back against the Rays bullpen in last night's game, and the bullpen has been somewhat porous for Tampa Bay this year. Bautista with a 3-0 countdown.
Base runners. Base runners. That's what you want right here. Odorizzi been known to throw a lot of pitches to get outs.
Taking all the way, it's 3-1. Odorizzi has not pitched past the 6th inning this season. This is his 5th start.
Kevin Cash wanted to ease him back into the rotation in his last start. He missed a couple of weeks with a hamstring problem. In his first start in a couple of weeks was his last start on May the 1st at Miami. Threw just 5 innings and 78 pitches.
The hamstring problem started on April 9th when Bautista hit Odorizzi in the back of the leg. Hit him with a line drive, and it really caused a lot of bruising and turned black and blue, and that led to an ultimate hamstring problem. But Bautista is the one that started the hamstring issue.
Heads up.
Odorizzi showed me a picture of his leg after the bruise, and it was totally covered, black, blue, green, any color you could think about.
Looked like a rainbow on the back of his leg.
He got hit squarely in his hamstring. Another 3-2 pitch. Cut on and missed. One away in the 7th.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Get there fast, leave even faster.
One away for Kendrys Morales. He is 1 for 2 so far this afternoon.
Odorizzi's fastball is just 92 miles an hour, but he's thrown the last 2 of them by the Blue Jay hitters. I don't know if they haven't been able to pick it up this inning against them. Tried to lay that thing right in there, that breaking ball. He keeps shaking his arm now too as he works in the 7th inning, closing in on 100 pitches.
Morales hits it hard once again. That's going to bounce up against the wall, and he is headed for second. And what a series he's had. 2 for 3 again this afternoon. He hit a double and a homer last night.
First baseman,
That's his 8th extra base hit in 9 games against the Rays.
Oh, he is on everything. Like he took something off of that one. You know, you throw him a fastball, he's on that. Throw him a breaking ball, he's on that. You change speeds, he's been hitting line drives against that. His timing has been impeccable at the plate. And I think with that hit, there's some movement going on down in that bullpen of the Rays.
One out for Dustin Smoke. He cuts on the first pitch and fouls it out. Erasmo Ramirez, fresh off the paternity list. He just rejoined the team this morning. He's going to be the first one getting up for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay with a 5-1 lead as the Jays bat in the top half of the 7th inning. Jays won 8-4 last night. Remember, the Rays have had problems later on in the game, and the Blue Jays have done a good job of scoring runs from the 7th inning or later. They've scored 51 runs from the 7th inning on. That's 5th in the majors. There goes Morales. He had a jump at second, really kind of a surprise move. Louis Rivera, third base coach.
They're in the shift, and Longoria was almost straightaway shortstop. So it was going to be a foot race between Morales and Longoria to third base. Finish up that point, what you were saying about the Blue Jays scoring late. I think that's why Kevin Cash wants to try and coax one more inning out of his starter. The 7th inning, making it a little bit easier, 2 innings to finish off the game as opposed to 3, that one more inning.
Strike 3 call. Smoke thought it was inside off the plate. He's called out on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Odorizzi.
Another fastball. Ball looked like it might have been inside. Dustin Smoke has a pretty good idea at the plate. He thought it was inside. He can't believe that that thing was called a strike.
Devin Travis 0 for 2. Odorizzi just took a peek down in the bullpen, and he knows that Ramirez is throwing. Odorizzi over 100 pitches now.
This might be his last matter, if he gets him or not.
It's going to be out of play. First time Odorizzi has pitched beyond 6 innings this season. This is his 5th start. He came out of his start on April 15th with that hamstring issue. That was one start after Bautista hit him on that line drive. Travis with a 2-1 count. Morales at second.
Pretty good throwing arms in the outfield for Tampa Bay. Although Souza doesn't have an outfield assist, he's got a good arm in right field, and he's playing very shallow right now. Colby Rasmus has got a very good arm in left field. 25 outfield assists over the last few years for Kiermaier, so it's going to be tough to score Morales on a solid single to the outfield.
Yeah, these are all things you go over in your mind before each pitch. If you're in the outfield, say, okay, got a slow runner at second. If I get the ball hit directly to me, I've got a shot to fly him out.
I think that's why Morales tried to steal third base last batter. He steals third base, he can jog home on a single.
Checked his swing on the 2-2, but down at first, the umpire Larry Vanover rings up Travis for the strikeout. Middle of the 7th, Tampa Bay with a 5-1 lead. Ball game taking over for Marco Estrada is J.P. Howell, who spent 8 years here with the Rays, actually 6 years with the Rays. Came up with Kansas City. This will be his 6th appearance of the season.
Still very popular. We walked in with him yesterday into the ballpark, and he's high-fiving a lot of the security guards and people here. Very popular player when he played for the Rays. Hasn't pitched in a week. last time he was on the mound was last Sunday. Faced a couple of batters, got an out, and actually got the win against Tampa Bay back at Rogers Center last Sunday.
Fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. J.P. Howell appeared in 252 games while with the Rays. He had 21 saves. He actually started 10 games in 2007. He was hurt early in the season, didn't say anything about it, and you could see in his pitches that everything wasn't right. He's thrown the ball better since he's returned off the DL.
Yeah, that happened right here. Second series of the season right here at Tampa Bay. He threw a game and his fastball was in the low 80s, and it's like, hey, something's not right here. Went in to the manager and said he's hurt as he picks up the strikeout, and they put him on the DL the next day.
Yeah, that was his second appearance of the season. He came on April 7th. One away. Hit a home run with the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard, Canada's #1 rated travel rewards card. Beautiful afternoon in St. Petersburg, Tropicana Field on this afternoon Kentucky Derby Day. Should be about another 20 minutes before they send those horses out of the gate. First pitch strike to Corey Dickerson. Dickerson's gone over 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
John Gibbons was saying today that he wants to get Howell right. He thinks he's going to be a big part of what the Blue Jays are going to do in that bullpen, being an experienced left-hander. Says, I got to start pitching him in some games here. He and Jason Grilli wants to get those guys rolling.
Liner to Goins, who was shaded up the middle. 2 up, 2 down for Howell. Marco Estrada. Again, he had trouble with his Rays lineup. 96 pitches. He goes 6 innings, allows 5 earned runs on 5 hits. 2 more home runs surrendered here at Tropicana Field. All 5 of the home runs he's allowed this season have come at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, he actually gave up 6 hits today, 4 of them to Longoria and Morrison. Devin was 2 for 3 with a double, a single. Morrison, the big 2-run home run and an RBI double. There's Jason Grilli. He's warming up.
Ground ball. Goins at short, gobbles it up. Miller's retired. Good inning for J.P. Howell. 3 up, 3 down. No problem. We'll go to the 8th. Blue Jays got some ground to make up.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the rugged Honda Pioneer Off-Road family. Your adventure begins here.
Pretty good shot of people having a lot of fun in the water, Clearwater Beach. This is Erasmo Ramirez making his 9th appearance. As we mentioned, he just returned off the paternity list. He was reactivated before this ball game as Justin Marks was sent back to the minors, so he's on to start the 8th inning.
Erasmo Ramirez, they had a little baby boy the other day. 2-0 with 275 earned run average. He last appeared Tuesday when the team was down in Miami against the Marlins. He's the type of pitcher that can give you multiple innings.
Ball sneaks under his glove and goes into center off the bat of Ryan Goins. It sounded as if he may have tipped that ball with his glove, but didn't get enough of it to slow it down.
And he looked into Derek Norris, the catcher, and said, how close was I coming up with that ball? Well, let's see. Right between his glove and his leg. Into the outfield. Good start.
4th hit for the Blue Jays. Jake Odorizzi gave up a 1st inning home run and nothing after that. Chris Coghlan batting for Darwin Barney. Barney went 0 for 2, a couple of pop-ups. Coghlan started at 3rd last night. He went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Liner stepped on the bag just like that. A double play. Nothing Goins can do at all about that. That ball was lined and it was hooking toward the first base bag. Morrison grabbed it and stepped on the bag.
Well, that's unfortunate right there. Chris Coghlan smokes this ball. But Logan Morrison with those long arms is right there to catch and tag the bag. That's an easy double play for the Rays. So after the leadoff single, that is erased on a nice play by Morrison.
Morrison's had a big day. He's had a home run, a double, drove in 3 and scored 2. And he made a nice play. Luke Maile, the Blue Jays catcher. Luke has grounded out twice today. Ball in his strike. Two teams have split the 8 games they have played so far this season. Ripped foul down into the Blue Jays bullpen. You see Jason Grilli standing on a mound. He will probably come in to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. J.P. Howe had a very good inning.
Yeah,
those
are the 2 pitchers that John Gibbons wanted to get into the ball game so they can get them right. The 2 veterans needing some work.
Inside off the plate is now 2-2. J.P. Howe 3 up 3 down with a strikeout. These guys both have experience and just got to give them an opportunity to work things out. Ramirez strikes out Maile. Double play and a strikeout ends the inning. We will go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
For the Blue Jays, 5 series over 2 homestands. Of course, Edwin Encarnacion and Cleveland come to town on Monday, Seattle and Atlanta to follow. Then at the end of the month, Texas and Cincinnati. And Buck, how about the run Joey Votto's been on of late?
Joey Votto's been tearing it up. It's been great to see him back in Toronto at Rogers Center when the Reds come to town. Jason Grilli will follow J.P. Howell into this ball game. He will pitch the bottom of the 8th.
Just 8 2/3 innings this season for Jason. He's 1-3 with an ERA elevated. The problem is nothing wrong with his velocity. His fastball's been great. He's just been making some mistakes with his breaking ball. Chris Coughlin will take over at third base after pinch hitting for Darwin Barney. And so in a game like this is where John Gibbons wants to give Grilli and Howell, his veterans, a chance to get some innings under their belt to get their stuff ironed out.
Evan Longoria, another good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. He has singled and doubled. He scored both times he's reached base. Pete Walker just knows that Grilli's velocity is still there. He thinks he's probably trying to generate a little bit too much velocity, and with that he's losing his location a little bit. Breaking ball still looks to be good.
Yeah, it's just where he's been throwing. He's just been missing his spots with his breaking ball.
Last pitch was 94 miles an hour. Now remember, early in the season, Grilli pitched a lot because Osuna was on the disabled list to start the season. Slider, and Longoria wouldn't chase. Longoria's having good at-bats throughout this entire series. We mentioned he has 5 hits in the first 2 games of this series.
Doesn't look like he was slumping, which he was before the Blue Jays came to town.
Cuts on that pitch and fouls it back. Blue Jays got here. Longoria was hitting .202. Now he's hitting .233. He likes facing the Blue Jays. Has ever since he came into the league.
Knows all about the Blue Jays. Some of his best games have been against the Blue Jays.
Breaking ball for ball 4. Third walk taken by the Rays this afternoon. They lead the league in walks. They lead the league in strikeouts. And they're near the top in home runs. Unusual combination. Today, it's been the Logan Morrison show. He hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd to give the Rays a lead, and then he capped off a 3-run inning. Another RBI double in the 6th. Rasmus drove him home with a 2-run home run in the 6th.
He can clean up behind Longoria in front of Souza. He's paid dividends today. He is now up to 18 RBIs.
Ball on the strike to Logan Morrison. Another ball upstairs. Is now 2-1. Grilli got off to a similar start last year while pitching with the Atlanta Braves. Pete Walker has done a lot of work trying to get to the bottom of his early season issues. And Grilli told him, he said, I had kind of a similar start to my season last year, but got it all sorted out.
Oh, when he came to the Blue Jays, he was lights out. I think he had one bad outing, and that was the first one that he had as soon as he came to the Blue Jays. I believe he gave up a home run. in his first appearance, but then he settled in and became the setup man for John Gibbons and Pete Walker in front of Roberto Osuna. Right now he's just trying to find himself.
Back-to-back walks here in the bottom of the 8th. Pete Walker's going to come out to the mound, and if he can help Jason get straightened out here. So he walks Longoria, and right behind that he walks Morrison. The Blue Jays will wrap up this series tomorrow afternoon. It'll be the Major League debut as a starter for Joe Biagini. He's off to a good start once again, pitching out of the bullpen, but they need him to start. He'll go up against Alex Cobb, a right-hander who's trying to build back since coming back from Tommy John surgery. It'll all begin tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's the pregame show. 8:30 a.m. Pacific time on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360. So make sure you join us for Joe Biagini's first start of his big league career.
I asked Joe yesterday, I said, you going to break out a windup tomorrow? Said, no, I'll probably just stay out of the stretch. I've had success staying out of the stretch.
Pete Walker talked to Biagini about all of that. He said, don't establish a routine. Do the same thing you've been doing as a reliever. Don't worry about getting here early, throwing long toss or any of that stuff. We're going to do it just as you did as a reliever to get ready for an appearance. And after that, they will make adjustments accordingly. Steven Souza Jr. fouls it off. 0-2. Neil Ramirez loosening up in the Blue Jays bullpen. He has not yet appeared in the game. He just joined the Blue Jays here yesterday. Picked up on waivers from the San Francisco Giants. Grilly is ahead 0-2.
This is another part of when you are traded to a team as a catcher mid-season. And you don't have a chance in spring training to work with guys. Just these kind of things happen. A little mix-up. Not really sure what the go-to pitch is. Luke Maley just got called up last week, so he hasn't had a chance to catch some of these guys, especially the relievers.
Yeah, here he gets crossed up. He was looking for a fastball, gets the breaking ball, and he doesn't know where it was. It just went all the way back to the backstop. He got the series of signs put down. Grilly thought he called for a breaking ball. Maley thought he called for a fastball, and you can see the results, a mix-up. Be a wild pitch charge to Grilly. One and 2 to Souza. The infield has to come in, play halfway now. Blue Jays already down by 4. Souza strikes out. They have scored the previous play, a pass ball charge to Luke Maley. Now there is 1 out. Colby Rasmus hit a 2-run homer on an 0-1 pitch his last time up. Breaking ball for a strike. Rasmus hit a high fastball out over the plate. They were trying to crowd him with it and left it too far out over the plate.
Come up and in, and he had his first home run of the season, first home run as a Ray, and he will donate $1,000 for every home run that he hits as a Tampa Bay Ray this year for the Hitters for Heroes. and the Rays are going to match it. Match it with $5,000. So that was a $6,000 home run that Colby hit.
Foul that one back. Grilly's ahead of Erasmus. He was ahead of Souza 0-2 in the previous at bat. Big runs to save for Jason Grilly. The Blue Jays will send the top of the order to the plate in the top of the ninth. That's foul down the left side, and that's going to be out of play. Let's go back to the 6th inning.
And here is that home run. Again, he'll donate $1,000 for every home run he hits as a Ray to his charity. That's #1 right there. Deep to right field. They were trying to come up and in. It was left out over the plate, and Rasmus homers to right field. 2-run home run. Scored Logan Morrison ahead of him.
Popped it up. Smoke has a beat on it. Maley coming over now. Smoke makes the catch, and that ball hit the ring in foul territory, so Rasmus will have another swing. Once it hits the ring in foul ground, it's dead ball no matter where it comes down on the field. So Rasmus will have another hack at it. Umpires calling it as they saw it make contact to the ring. John Gibbons got to be thinking, I hate this place.
That doesn't seem fair, does it? When you make a pitch and a guy pops it up for a big out, you get the result that you want, a pop-up with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Jose Alvarado up for the Rays, and there's the first ball. It's 1-2 now. Rasmo Ramirez gave up a single, but got a double play and a strikeout to get out of the top half of this inning. Pulled foul. Longoria broke down the line when that ball was hit foul, so that might suggest he's going to go on contact.
I don't think you have anything to lose.
No.
You do that right now. Put the pressure on the defense. You've got a 4-run lead. Right side of the infield is playing it halfway. They're not in.
And then you have a right-handed hitter on deck. So force the Blue Jays to make a play. Two and two now. Now it's a full count. Beckham is on deck. He's a right-handed hitter. Don't necessarily have to give in to Colby Rasmus in this situation. Beckham has gone 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts on the afternoon.
Throw him a breaking ball. You're looking for a strikeout here. If you walk him, no big deal. It sets up the double play.
Longoria and Morrison both walked. Ground ball hit at Travis. He's going to come home, and a tag not in time. Travis had to go to a knee to make a grab on that hot shot ground ball. By the time he got up and threw home, it was too late.
You know, I think if the throw was on the third base side of the plate where he caught it and he could just lay his glove down, he would have had him. But the throw from Devin is on the first base side of the plate. So Maley has to go back and tag him. And by that time, it looks like Longoria slides across home plate. Blue Jays have asked for the umpires to take a look at it.
Longoria indeed breaking on contact. Rasmus hit it hard, and got to go back to that ball that hit the ring.
Yeah, should have been out.
Extended the at bat for Colby Rasmus.
He's going to end up with an RBI after a pop-up. Looked like really was going to get out of it.
So the umpires are taking a look at this review. The umpires in New York, of course, and watch the extension of that leg. Well, the dust kind of covers up when he made contact with home, but it looked like he beat the tag of Luke Maile.
Here's the throw. He's got to go out and reach for it and then come back and make the tag. Now, if you can tell me in all that dust and smoke right there when he tagged him, you can't, right?
No, and that's why it's going to be hard to overturn this call on the field. The umpires have the decision, and Larry Vano, the crew chief, signals safe. So the call on the field is upheld. Rasmus ends up with a fielder's choice RBI. Longoria scores for the 3rd time this afternoon. He is such a key to their offense, whether he's getting hits or scoring runs. Still just 1 out. Morrison's now at 3rd base. Rasmus is at 1st for Tim Beckham. Blue Jays are playing a double play depth. Beckham waves at that first pitch breaking ball. One and one count now on the shortstop.
Been swinging a hot bat. Nothing today so far. 0 for 3. He's looking for a ball on the ground. Get out of this inning.
2 and 1. Now it's 2 and 2 on the foul ball. Jake Odorizzi started this game against Marco Estrada. Odorizzi, 7 innings. First time he's pitched 7 innings this season. He helped Blue Jays just 3 hits. The only run coming in on the Ezequiel Carrera first inning home run. Beckham strikes out. 3rd time he's gone down on strikes today. This has never been a friendly stop for the Blue Jays on their tour around the major leagues. John Gibbons knows all too well how tough it is to win games here. Since 2007, the Blue Jays have just 34 wins against the Rays.
You know what's surprising about that is the home runs. Well, Tampa Bay has actually out-homered the Blue Jays here at Tropicana Field, and they've almost doubled their win total.
Kevin Kiermaier, 1 for 3 this afternoon. Kiermaier singled in his first at bat off of Marco Estrada. Mentioned tomorrow, Joe Biagini and Alex Cobb, a pitching matchup. Biagini will make his first big league start tomorrow afternoon. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
His last start was in Double-A when he was with the Giants, 2015. Wonder what he's been doing with himself for the last 2 days, sitting on that bench.
Doing the same stuff he always does, just enjoying himself in a big league atmosphere. Kiermaier with a 1-2 count. Fouled it straight back to the screen. Let's check in with Arash Madeni.
Well, Tabby, I think I have the answer to your question. Biagini held court yesterday, started his media scrum by saying, I'm going on a top secret mission to Brazil to do some hand painting in the 2 days before my start Sunday. So just in case you wanted to know what Joe's been up to, apparently it was a quick little trip down to the rainforest.
He is a very interesting young man and a good pitcher. Inside, it's a 2-2 count.
I want to know how he comes up with those things when someone asks him that so quickly. You sit around thinking about that?
There's a lot going on in there. Rays have scored a run here in the 8th and have a 6-1 lead. Kiermaier pops it out of play. Grilli has thrown 35 pitches this inning. In a tough inning for him. He walked the first 2 batters, and the first one, Evan Longoria, has come in to score. Logan Morrison is at third. Colby Erasmus at first. Another foul back. This is not exactly what the Blue Jays were hoping for Jason Grilli in an inning of work. He has a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, the plan was to get J.P. Howell some work, an inning, and he had a 1-2-3 7th inning, giving Jason low leverage type of situations to get him on track. Had a couple of strikeouts this inning.
Another foul back. Another extended at bat for Kevin Kiermaier. Grilli thought that was strike 3, threw a breaking ball and began to walk off the mound. So now it's a full count. Morrison will hold at third. Rasmus will be moving on to pitch. There are 2 outs in the inning. To center. Pilar is there. He's got a beat on it, and he makes the catch. The inning is over, but the Rays get a run here in the bottom of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. 6-1 Tampa Bay.
in Washington, and Sidney Crosby is on the ice for the Penguins. Pittsburgh can ice it tonight with a win over the Capitals. They lead that series 3-1. Buck, meanwhile, in Ottawa, Kyle Turris scores an OT. The Sens lead the Rangers 3-2. The Senators are now 5-1 in overtime games these playoffs.
Great run in the playoffs, that's for sure. We have reached the 9th inning. Jose Alvarado will make just his 2nd appearance of the season.
He made his major league debut on Wednesday. That was against Miami. He was the first pitcher to come from their AA team in Montgomery, skipping AAA since Scott Kazmir in 2004. Alvarado is a big left-hander who throws really hard. He's been known to touch triple digits on the radar gun.
He'll deal with the top of the Blue Jays order here in the 9th. Kevin Pillar, Ezekiel Carrera, possibly a pinch hitter for Carrera. Pillar takes the first pitch strike. Pillar has been held hitless in just 5 games this season.
He was robbed of a hit his first time up, first batter of the ball game. Brad Miller, the second baseman, took a base hit away from him.
Bounced foul up the third baseline.
Looks like Kevin might have broke his bat.
Alvarado's just 21 years old. He's from Maracaibo, Venezuela. This year at AA, he appeared in 9 games, had 11 1/3 innings, and just 4 hits allowed while striking out 14. Good run on that fastball, but it runs out of the strike zone.
And a big fastball again, known to hit upper 90s. He's thrown a couple pitches at 100 miles an hour. Gave up 3 runs at his big league debut, though, against Miami.
Ball on the ground. Longoria has it. Across the diamond in plenty of time. 1 away. Pillar is 0 for 4.
For the longest time, the Rays didn't have a lefty in their bullpen until they brought Alvarado up. They were going with 7 righties the last time we saw them at Rogers Center last week.
And Danny Farquhar was serving as the lefty specialist as a right-hander out of their bullpen. They lost Xavier Cedeno for an extended period of time with an injury. Ezekiel Carrera goes after the first pitch. Yeah, and that's a fair ball. Carrera must have thought it was foul, so Blue Jays are down to their final out. Carrera extended his hit streak to 12 straight in his first at bat with a solo home run, and that's the only run of the day for the Jays.
It's the only time that a runner has touched third base for the Jays. He had a runner in the 2nd inning. He's caught stealing. A runner in the 4th. 1 runner in the 7th. And a runner last inning. That's it.
Jose Bautista 0 for 3. He struck out twice and lined up. The Blue Jays were hopeful of putting something together. They had a mini 3-game win streak, and then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. They have won the first game, on the verge of losing game 2, and then they'll wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon here in Tampa Bay. 1-1 pitch outside. It's ball 2.
They'll have a 3-game winning streak against Tampa Bay snapped, because they can't come back in this game. Won the last 2 at home last week. Won game 1 yesterday.
So the Blue Jays now down to their final striker, Bautista, with a 2-2 count. Blue Jays have granted just 2 base runners. They've managed just 4 hits all afternoon. Pulled hard to third. Longoria. That's the ball game. Jake Odorizzi and the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Blue Jays 6-1. Odorizzi with a strong start. 3 hits over 7 innings. The only run, a home run by Carrera. Blue Jays gave up home runs to Logan Morrison and Colby Erasmus, and Morrison had a big game, as did Erasmus. They both drove in 3 runs.
Marco Estrada pitched well enough, except 2 guys hurt him, Longoria and Morrison. The only problems that he had all afternoon long, he gave up 6 hits, 4 of them to those guys, and they drove in 3 of those runs. So Blue Jays back to the drawing board tomorrow. Get a chance to see Joe Biagini make his big league debut as a starter.
I think everybody's looking forward to that, and it'll be fun to watch Joe take the mound. He'll go up against Alex Cobb. The Blue Jays will lose this one 6-1. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central. Martine Geyer. Thanks for watching.